If you aren't following up properly, you are literally leaving thousands of dollars on the table. I've done over 60 million in transactions in the wholesale space, and I'm going to share my exact follow-up strategy I've used to close dozens of deals extra each year. Now, pay attention, because just mastering this one thing could add hundreds of thousands of dollars or more to your wholesale business. So here's exactly how you need to be doing your follow-ups. If you made an offer or you're following up on an offer you already made, call every single day for up to 2 weeks straight. Every single day. And here's the kicker. You don't just call once and leave it there. I want you to triple dial every single time. You call them, there's no answer, call again. Still no answer, call again. Then leave a voicemail and a text every single time. Now, you might think this is too aggressive, but let me share a quick story with you. I had somebody cold calling on my team, and he called the seller twice, and then he left a voicemail and was just about to move on. And so I stopped him right there. I'm like, yo, call him again. And he's like, bro, I don't want to annoy these people. Long story short, he called him a third time, and guess what happened? That third phone call, they picked up, and it turned into a deal worth thousands. Now, if after 2 weeks of you calling these people and you still can't connect and there's no momentum, shift into calling them once a week over the course of 4 weeks. And if there's still no response, move them into a once a month follow-up. Trust me, this method is powerful and it keeps your pipeline efficient and profitable. So let's take a step back real quick, because before you implement any of my follow-up strategy, you need to be able to clearly identify what makes a lead. Just because somebody says, yeah, I might want to sell my house, that doesn't automatically mean that it's a lead. You have to ask yourself these two critical questions. After you get off that first phone call, first is, what type of deal could this be? Is it a wholesale deal, creative finance, novation, maybe a listing program, right? What type of deal is this? And then when could this realistically happen? Is it urgent, like it could happen next week or next month? Or is it a long-term play, it's going to be several months or maybe even a few years out? Only when you clearly answer these two questions should a prospect go inside the pipeline as a daily follow-up. I literally have leads that I followed up on for 5-6 years before they finally close, so think long-term, build relationships, and remember, if you're really in this game for good, your long-term follow-ups are going to turn into massive opportunities down the road. So now let's talk about filling and managing your pipeline effectively. When you first start wholesaling, your pipeline might feel, a little empty, and that's normal. But over time, as you continue following up consistently and aggressively, your pipeline grows and becomes filled with solid opportunity. Just think about it. Every conversation you have today doesn't immediately turn into a deal, but it becomes potential income for tomorrow. If you call them next year and they've decided, it's finally time to sell, guess who they're ready to sell it to? It's going to be you, because you've consistently followed up. It's a numbers game to some degree, but it's also a consistency game. The longer you stay consistent, the more saturated and profitable your pipeline becomes. Every day you're putting leads in the pipeline and you're following up consistently, you're planting seeds for future deals to come. Now, here's another powerful insight. Your ability to flush out and handle objections directly impacts how quickly you close deals. In my earlier days, I used to make it a huge mistake. I'd let sellers think about it and I'd let them wait, and I wouldn't move with any clarity as to where their head's at. And then they suddenly stopped answering the phone calls, and I'm like, why? Why aren't these people picking up? And it's because I hadn't fully addressed their concerns on the spot. They weren't sold, and they decided behind closed doors not to engage any further. So now I make it a rule to handle every objection in full before hanging up the phone, and if they hesitate, I dig in, right? Is it the price? Is it the terms? Is it, me personally? Or is there, some other issue that we haven't talked about? So by resolving these objections up front, I dramatically shorten the deal timeline. Sellers, they want clarity and confidence, and it's your job to provide that. Always try and get to their core hesitation, because waiting rarely makes someone more convinced to sell. Lastly, efficiency is everything. Keep clear, concise, organized notes in that CRM. If I open your lead notes right now, I should immediately see exactly what has happened so far and exactly what needs to happen on this next phone call. You should never waste time digging through the past calls, comps, or trying to recall the conversation. Just open it up, know what has happened and what now needs to happen. Speed equals money and efficiency equals scale. Every second on managing your follow-ups is another second you could use to be making more phone calls, close more deals, and bank more cash. Now, I want to give you guys a pro tip. If a seller isn't answering the phone calls or your text, send them a personalized selfie video. Now, I know some of you guys might think I'm joking by this, but I'm serious. Take out your phone and just say, hey, John, it's Eric. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I have some good news, blah, blah, blah. Give me a call back. Now, anytime you do a follow-up text like that with people that are hard to get on the phone with, or a selfie video, it's very important that you guys make a big claim, right? So, hey, you know, I have some other terms, or I have a different idea that I think could work for you. I have a better offer now. You know, whatever the case is, make some sort of big claim to hook them so they call you back. You get them back on the phone. So there you have it, guys. Those are my exact strategies and rules I use to dominate wholesaling, and now it's your turn. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you guys aren't in our community, for a limited time, it's free. It's 7+ courses, 5 weekly Zooms, so I could help you. I'll put the link below this video, and I'll see you guys over there. Peace.